All right, all right. Good morning. It is 6:30 on the nose on a Monday. And it's been a crazy long weekend, but did get up early, pretty excited about the week. Got a lot happening. There's been a lot going on, obviously, each week. Narratives have changed, different groups have led, a lot of setups to go with and grab. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of tqlab.com. Welcome to the 6:30 Club, where we go over where we could focus on potentially to make some good cash flow. We trade for a living, and also just trying to figure out how to keep the process strong so you could stay the long term for your building wealth process, as well as saving some money for college and also enjoying yourself. So anyway, how's it going? Let me see if I can get my comments up here so I can say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Who do we got? Got Option Wrap in the house. We got Ryan in the house, On the Edge in the house from Iowa. We got Dan from Tennessee. We got a bunch of everyone tuning in here. Good to see. Hope everyone had a great weekend. If you look here real quickly at the chart, there's the chart. That's the chart of the SPYs. Wow, stepping higher. Every time we digest after hitting a high coming into the 8-day, we've been holding and stepping higher, and there's been lots of different type of places to focus on. A few weeks ago, we were focusing on the bios to break out, and they still look good. That's the XBI. Then we were focusing on the small caps, even with rates going up, to break out, and obviously then the earnings from Nvidia and the different AI semis. It's been a lot going on. What's up, What's up, Fernando? So we'll see what happens here. Right now the SPYs are down 60 cents. Not a big deal for those people who are long. This is probably a good open. Little digestion would make some sense. On Wednesday we have the beige book. At the end of the week we have the non-farm payroll. So we'll see what happens here. Do we hold 510 today and then take out this 513.28? As far as the small caps, market is just moving along. I've shown you guys the small caps many times. I try and give you guys the weekly glance, because the weekly glance shows you that the small caps, the IWM, is probably on its way to at least 212. You had a nice little pocket pivot here, turned up. We put on another nice call spread for the IWMs, and they look good. 2 weeks ago, we put on a big call spread for the XBI, for a move to 105-ish. That was the target at 99 by 100. We're still massaging that. Looks like it's up a little bit this morning on its way to 105. So nice little inside channel after a move that held firm and went. So bottom line is there's been, just a lot to do. A lot to do if you look for setups, a lot to do if you use moving averages, a lot to do if you use a tier system, a lot to do if you don't think about what's happening with everyone's opinions, but looking at the actual overall action. What up, Jim? How's it going, Daniel? What up, Mr. Myers? So coming in this week, a lot of people are excited about Bitcoin and gold. Bitcoin's been on a huge tear. So many different setups. We've been making some money buying the new ETFs, the BlackRock ETF, and even some options on Bito. A lot of people have been a little annoyed with gold because it's taken its time. The daily and the weekly and the monthly charts have looked really good, and every time it's about to break out, kind of falters. But if you look here at the chart of gold now, look, by the way, look at this cup and handle in the XBI. This is their cup and handle looking like it's going to get above 103.52. Patterns repeat themselves. Look at gold right now. Gold right now is a little, flattish, which is fine. This is your, hold on, I'm not even showing it to you. Look at me. This is your daily chart of the GLD. Okay, this 193 area has been tough. Okay, we had this pocket pivot last week that took off. If you remember, we were buying nugget calls as well, as some were positioning long-term for gold. But here's the daily chart. When you have the daily chart, the weekly chart, and the monthly chart line up, you got to really be there. Here's the daily. Look at the weekly chart. Weekly chart also looking like really solid. This goes back to 2020. We're in 2024, so for 4 years, the gold guys have been accumulating gold, and now you have an upper flag looking like it's going to take out this 193, 193.30, 194. And then if you go back to the monthly chart, I always tell you guys to read the Willie O'Neill book, How to Make Money in Stocks, and he goes over the hugest winners in the past with cup and handle patterns. Usually he's talking about like Microsoft from back in the day, Dell, Cisco, all of those that created huge winners of the 80s and the 90s. But cup and handle patterns, we've seen a lot of them where we just showed you an XBI. Look at this monthly. Holy cow. Look at the size of this, cup. Here's your upper channel handle. If it finally gets above 2,000, what's it called, 24. This is one of my big picks. That's why that's still there. There's a pretty big void. So now you have the daily, weekly, and monthly. Is it gonna hang out here for a few days? Don't know what's gonna get it to go, but I'm just putting it out there for all you guys. If you're an asset allocator and you've been buying 10% in gold for the past 20, 30 years, you're doing great. If you've been buying physical, you're doing great. If you're playing GLD and you get paid monthly or quarterly, well, hopefully, you positioned in the GLD, and now we'll see what happens. And if you look at the nugget, which is the miners, that's what I went with also. Just cross this downtrend, and there's a lot of room here, especially if gold breaks out. You would think this is going to go fast to the upside. So that's gold. If you look at now switching gears to crypto, BITO, looks like it's going to try and get above this 30. If you remember, we were buying it in here, in there. And now look at this move above the 8 day. When Bitcoin moves and moves fast, hit your channel, and then now it's in motion, and does seem like it's on its way. If you want me to, some guys like, hey, Red Dog, take a look at, for us, which I've been doing, which I've been telling you guys, you could probably even buy, Bitcoin every single month like the S&P for the past 2 years. Anyway, you look at Bitcoin right now, it's just taken out to 64,000, another bull flag. I'll tell you, Bitcoin and crypto trades really well technically because, it's just very pure. And we've had many different ways to buy Bitcoin, and it's worked. First was, remember they sold the news of, the actual ETF, but then you had a red dog reversal sell, then a red dog reversal buy. And then look at this beautiful inside consolidation. This is when we bought the IBIT and we took out 44. Then here's when we bought Mara and BITO calls, and I talked about it, went with it. People in the Alpha team saw it. That made me a nice amount of money. Now here we are breaking above 64. If you go to the weekly chart again, because you got to go sometimes daily, weeklies to see the bigger picture. The next point of reference for Bitcoin now is really 69,000. I would think it gets to 69-ish and then pauses, let some moving averages catch up, let people talk about a double top a little bit, kind of like what they tried to do at 49. And then once it gets above 69, we'll see how it goes. Bottom line is, in my notes or my projections, I'm like, I think it gets to 100,000 in 2025. And I was like, Red Dog, you were wrong. It could happen in 2024. I wasn't necessarily wrong. I had the direction, but you never know how fast it's going to be. In this hyper fast environment of news and speed and computers and algos, it doesn't really matter as long as you're on the right side, and you could wind up doing really well. Anyway, above the 8 day moving average, this has been a lot of nice spots, and right now it's kind of in a void. You had this was where's 63,000? 63,000 was right around here actually. So now there's really nothing up till about this peak here. This peak was what, 69,000. So anyway, lots of ways to do it. Hopefully you're involved. People have been playing coin. We played Mara, blah, blah, blah. Let's switch some gears back towards stocks, because that's where I really love to be involved. And remember last week with AMD, you had this massive breakout. To me, this was really important, because you had a 6-week channel. People weren't sure if the stock market was going to have its corrective phase finally, and then all of a sudden you had AMD breakout, and we were in it. I was in options, I was in stock, but really what this kind of thing helps you do mentally is tells you, hey, 71,000 the Gann target is that other things could break out. So when this was breaking out, what was Red Dog doing? I was buying options for Nvidia for this week and still staying long in the stock for it to break above its high. Nvidia is really the leader. It just needed to consolidate. So Nvidia, at this point is opening up above, what's it looking? 823. I am long straight calls. I'm long a call spread, and I'm long the stock, and it's making my Monday a little easier. It's always good when you have a good overnight, and this one is a good overnight. Here is your 823. It's opening above it. Here it's up 10. So what am I doing? I've already trimmed a little bit. I'm still in it. I'm in a 815 by 845 call spread that I'm hoping will be maxed out. I'm also in some straight 815 calls that I'll probably turn down to a call spread to sit for the week, and I'm just going to figure out how it goes. SMCI, I'm sure you heard, got added to the S&P, that was a really big surprise. People didn't think that was in the running, and now it's up 100 points. I was thinking about buying calls and I didn't, but at this point now, here's 1,005. and then there's 1,077. So I don't think anyone was short this because again, we had a really good short up here, because that's how stretched it was. And now it's in building phase. So when something's in a building phase and you see AMD making highs, Nvidia acting well, I don't know who the hell would be wanting to short this for any reason. But anyway, some guys got pleasantly surprised thinking, hey, let me go out a few weeks and buy some, call spread in 1,100 by 1,200 or something like that. And then all of a sudden this happens and, you're high-fiving for a Monday morning. Saul, everyone loves to go with the little ones, the little names, but I hear you. So what's that doing? This had a really good move. If you remember, this was one of the names that I think Nvidia invested in. You had a bull flag, it went, and then it came in and touched the 8-day, and chances are, my guess is it's probably up this morning with it. I could take a look. This is 595. 595. We'll see where that is. It is. Hold on. SOUN. That's up 29 cents. Oh, it's actually even it's above this spot here. Is that what's that spot? No, this spot. This is 791. It's cool. Listen, you should never be just focusing on little names like this. But if you have 10, 15 positions, working, and you're in a small one that's in the right group, that's fine. I hear you. We're back on me. I'm not on no charts. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah, you can see it. All right. So anyway, but another on a side note, something that's gonna probably not work for me is Palantir. Palantir was a great trade. I was in the stock last week for most of the week, and then knowing it's a potential binary event, meaning there was talk that it could be in the S&P 500 coming into today or not. I don't go with stock. I go with options because risk is premium paid. So if you look here at at Palantir, it looked at people were anticipating that this would go in, even me. And I bought the stock here. I added to it. I held it all week, and everyone's like, why aren't you taking the stock home long? I'm like, well, who knows if they don't get added? If they don't get added, it's probably going to be down $1. I'd rather have some options, and it didn't get added. So we'll see how it hangs in today. It's down 79 cents. Either trade had big earnings. It's in the right group. It'd be cute if it opens down and goes green, and then later this week takes it out. So I'm going to stick in my options. Either they're going to be a zero or they're going to work. Hold on. Banners. Why do we have banners there? Where's my comments? There we go. Mister's probably through the roof. What a friggin' big play Sailor had. Holy cow. But anyway, so that's that. What else do I have a lot of? I still have Amazon. I think Amazon's working its way to 180 plus. This I've been all over with you guys for a while. At times it's slow, at times it's fast. All in all, it held this 171 gap. It ignited here, and now it looks like it's on its way to 180. Some guys like, hey, Red Dog, I can't believe this market's ignoring Apple. Apple made new weekly lows and the market didn't care. I'm like, I think the market's just kind of getting used to it. It's like almost like a source of funds. People have made so much money in Apple. They know at some point Apple will be fine. But for now, it's a source of funds to go to the XBI, to go to the IWM, to go to other names. So although Apple, is a laggard, it doesn't really matter right now. If it accelerated lower or whatnot, I get it. But it's kind of hanging here. People don't really care. I think in their head they know that whether it's a year from now or 6 months from now, Apple's going to be back above 200. But for now, it's just not where the action is, which is fine. It's good. As traders, we go where the action is, and the action's been in Nvidia. The action's been in AMD. Look at this trade in Avago. Remember we talked about if you can get above 13.19, it can have a hell of a move. There's been a lot of action there. The XBI. So you got to be able to move around. You got to be able to find where the action is with the volume and the charts and do it. Red Dog, if it breaks, which one? Datadog. Let's see what Datadog looks like. Yeah, this is another decent looking stock. Here's your channel going sideways. You actually even have an inside channel here. So this looks decent. If money wants to rotate into names like this also, I get it. I can see why you're looking at Datadog. I'm not in it. I was in it earlier versus the pro earnings gap, but I've just had way too much to do. All these different things. Kava. Let's see. This has been chosen. Also, look at that. You go to the weekly chart. Kava. So this IPO that came out is it's on the move. A bunch of these new issues have been doing better. Kava's been doing better. CART, let's see what CART's doing. CART this came out. Look at this. On its way. This is the weekly. You can look at the daily. Look at Instacart. Instacart we listed it also. So listen, it's not all. It's not just Nvidia and SMCI. Look at Instacart. Making a move. So there's a lot of things to do. And some ON's been great. We bought this stock, or I bought it, with the alpha team right around here, around 28. Bought options, the $30 options. It went fast. The $30 options literally wound up going to I don't even know, went from $1 to $4, and then I took off the $30 calls that were great. I went to $33 calls, and now let's let go sideways. Let the 8-day catch up. Earnings are until the 12th. It's only the 4th, so that's next week. Hopefully it hangs here, and at some point maybe it hits 37 prior to earnings. So this way we could have made a lot of money from 28 to 37, and then we figure out what we want to be in for earnings, because that's binary risk and anything could always happen. Anyway, gold gonna go. It might. Let's see. Maybe a day off and then go. We'll see. But you have to have some kind of exposure here. It's only down a penny. So maybe it hangs here for a session or so. What you could do is you could buy a massive 195 by 200 call spread for this Friday or next Friday. Maybe give it to next Friday just in case. Your risk would probably be like $1.50 to make $3.50 besides the GLD. I think I might do something like that to add on to my prior play of Nugget from last week. Good morning, Bobby 4.0. Rum's been annoying. It's just not doing a whole hell of a lot. We had a really good trade in Rumble from 540 to 830 now. Got to come out with some news or something to get this going. Again, not a focus. I'm in small versus 580. We'll see, what happens there. The Chase's team win? No. So my son Chase was a freshman playing on varsity, and if you've been following me, you've been following me for a while, and you know that I've coached youth sports. I coached his lacrosse team from 2nd grade till 8th grade, and we had a magical run. But he was really his love is basketball, but he didn't grow in 7th grade, so he had to work harder, get better with his handles, and finally grew in 8th grade. And then this season, played varsity. Milburn made it to the state sectional finals, first time since 2008-ish, and he had a great season. The seniors were awesome to him. He had a lot of fun. He contributed. He made some big plays in the playoffs to help. And you know what? You work hard. You start early. The universe is going to reward you. So if you're watching me right now, I'm 51. If you're 28 or 32 and you have a little boy or a little girl or a little person, introduce them to things. And if they grab it, support it, and then at some point, perhaps it's a love and passion, and then then you could just change things, right? Change the world a little bit. So with that, thoughts of SMCI here, just real quick. I don't know. I'm not shorting it. I lost a lot of sleep on this night. I was short, the 1140s and the 1160s, if you remember there. I made really good money when it came in, and I played it. Now, if you could hold 1,005, all you have is 1,077. So if you're not in SMCI, what I would do is just watch the first half an hour, see how much of today's gap holds, and then maybe we'll base some trades off for next week. But truly, for me, it was really AMD that made me good money, that gave me the wherewithal to go after Nvidia, which Nvidia used to be a very speculative stock to trade, and now this feels like relaxed compared to SMCI. So hopefully, the alpha team is in options and a call spread and straight stocks, so they're starting, a nice morning. So we'll see how much of today's gap holds on Nvidia too, so we can base some trades off for the rest of the week. So with that said, thanks for tuning in at 6:50. I got to go. Management, even though I'm part of management, I'm a founding partner of T3. They say 20 minutes. That's all you can do for the 6:30 club. 20 minutes. So if you want more, you're making money. Listen, there's lots of ways to join the alpha team and rather all access. And just know I appreciate you. And live life, man. You never know when your number's called. Give back to your family, your friends, your community. Don't sweat what's happening. You can't control. Just control what you can control. And if you do it this way, it grows grassroots. You can't worry about what's happening over there and complain about that, because sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. So do what you can do and control what you can control. And then, hey, maybe it spreads. Have a good day, guys. Have a great week.